one of the most productive baits in bass fishing during the hottest part of the summer is the big worm. And we're about to go in depth on how the big worm has changed over the recent years. I got a couple different ways to rig it, and I'm going to go over these fishing techniques to help you out in catching more bass during the hottest part of the summer. And also, we're going to go on the water footage, and then with that, we're going to break down some secrets on where to fish the big worm in the summer, guys. Welcome to the Fishing Coach YouTube channel. Jimmy Easterling, go by Coach E. And guys, I love the big worm. Love the big worm, and I have these other ways I've rigged it, and I'm fishing it right now to test out, to let you guys know on other ways to fish it, so we can give these pressured bass other different ways to see lures and to catch more, okay? But this guy right here just catches fish. This is just the traditional big worm setup, guys. We have an EWG hook. We have an old monster style worm with a little tail, a couple different ways to call it, guys. And I love the big worm. A couple summers ago, a big worm was my hottest lure of the summer, and each summer just seems like it's something different, okay? And I've caught some fish on a worm recently, and we're going to go over that. But guys, one thing on the big worm is, before I get into these other ways, okay, so I have one rigged up on an Ozark rig. We're going to talk about the free rig, which is one of the quiet ways right now, and you've seen it in the Elite Series tournament. Ben Milliken's put a few videos at it, Tactical Bassin. And then we're also going to go into the Nico rig, the little setup that's not new. It's been around for a while. It did win a Bassmaster Classic. It's been more popular at Forward Facing Sonar. But guys, this thing caught fish way before Forward Facing Sonar. But guys, we're going to talk about this big worm first, before I get into these other techniques, okay, is understanding the big worm in the summer. One thing I want to say is, what do you think this big worm is even mimicking? That's a great question. There are videos out there of so many people talking about it. Gerald Swindle made a cool video, made some sense. I've heard others, but what I'm going to say is, I always thought it could have been brim, but guys, sometimes I don't even know if the bass know what it is. So when we're throwing minnow style baits, like this guy right here, this swim bait, this is in a box, and the box is of something that they're actually eating that we know of. Forage, bait fish, there's so many different types of shads, and we got to mimic it and do it precisely to catch bass. Now, when you think of this worm, dude, like, what is it mimicking? We can all talk about and act like we know, but unless you go underwater with scuba gear, and I know people that do that, it's really hard to know what they're mimicking. So I think we have a higher percent rate at times of catching bass with this, as, you know, with the drop shot, you get people with drop shot, shaky head, because the bass don't even know what it is, and we don't got to mimic it perfectly, meaning we don't got to mimic a bait fish perfectly. Or we don't got to mimic this, like a crawfish. What is this? And so now let's get into fishing in the summer. One of the biggest things I believe on fishing in the summer is understanding shade and shade line. And that doesn't mean that we're fishing it all offshore. We're about to talk about offshore, though. That can mean shallow. That means your rivers, docks. There's so many different ways of shade. So one of my lakes that I used to fish a lot, Southwest Arkansas, Millwood Lake. It's a lowland reservoir, more of a river, okay? A lot of river tactics to it. We caught fish on this big worm understanding how bass were positioning in the grass on shade. Okay, Arkansas River back in the day. Current shade. There we go. That was another thing that we'd catch these on. Lily pad flats, okay? We have a big flat lily pads. That's producing shade. Then you have to find that shade near the creek or the deepest part. So now thinking on shade, think of a brush pile. You got a brush pile in 15 foot, okay? 10 foot. Think of that sun, how it's positioning the brush pile throughout the day. Those bass are going to position on that brush pile due to the shade. And that's something that I learned later on when fishing offshore, how shade can affect offshore fishing. Grass, for example. I know, talking to my dudes up north, they always talk about grass lines up north, how them underwater submergent grass, how them shade lines affect how bass position. We have grass down here where I'm at, hydrilla, milfoil on certain lakes. And that's just something I never thought of early on. So one thing I want to talk about these worms is understanding the shade. Now, guys, let's talk about these different rig setups. So one that I've done and had success with is with the Core Tackle Ozark rig. Now, this is with a Magnum trick worm style worm, okay? Not the traditional ribbon tail worm right there, old monster, you know. This is a Zoom Magnum trick worm, okay? And you typically would put these on a shaky head or Texas rig, but it's on an Ozark rig. One thing with the Ozark rig, when it goes down in the water, it vibrates. It's a little different. When you're working it, it goes up, and instead of going straight down, it's more of this horizontal presentation. There are times where bass want a different presentation. And so I've been throwing this more in the summer, and I've had success catching fish. Now I know, as you're going to say, it does get hung up a little more due to the front of it and how it is. But typically when you get it up and kind of shake that thing off, it creates a reaction strike, as I've learned. I know guys that have flipped this around docks and shallow bushes have had success. Last year on the channel, we caught them on this setup right here on Millwood Lake, a day without forward-facing sonar with my man Big Fish James, fishing those grass lines, those current breaks, clean water meeting dirty water. Shade's a factor too. Throwing a level NGX 7.2 medium heavy fast. I throw a lot of my worms on that 7.2, 7.3, but as I'm about to show you, I got 7.6 right here too for scenarios. So now let's talk about the free rig. The free rig is one of the kind of newer deals, depending who you are. It's not talked about a lot. Now this is the Ridge Worm by 6 Cents. Okay, just a little bit different worm, a little bit different kind of design. It's a bigger tail, smaller body compared to right here, okay, as you see. And what the free rig is you just have a drop shot weight or a little cylinder weight. This video today is brought to you by Futural Marine, who is the Icon exclusive dealer in Arkansas. Guys, before we get into this video, let me tell you some things that I've experienced with running this Icon in the last 6 weeks. On my on-the-water lessons, my guide trips, and creating content. Guys, this boat, I'm impressed with how it's built. The craftsmanship of the boat. It does ride wonderful in rough water. I've gotten this boat, I know a lot of people ask about speed. I've gotten this boat to 72 miles per hour. Also had a customer drive it and get it there as well. One of my favorite things, though, I don't care about speed, but I had to share that for y'all. One of my favorite things about this boat is how it fishes. How it fishes in rough water. How we can have up on this deck 2 people comfortably, and even 3 people up here standing on the deck looking at the screen as we're doing my on-the-water lessons with the forward-facing sonar. Guys, so many cool features about this boat. Future Marine has a few left for the 2025 year. This one here that I'm running is going to be for sale near the end of the year as well, guys. Any questions on it, send me a question on my Jimmy Earsling Fishing Facebook page, or give Future Marine a call and tell them that the fishing coach led you there. Now let's get into a 1/2 ounce tungsten VMC weight, and it goes up and down your line. What that does is kind of creates that deal when it's on there, and if you have a worm that kind of floats and comes up, kind of lets it go free and does its own action. I've known some people that's been doing this for 2-3 years, and I've kind of kept it quiet. But guys, there's videos and there's been professionals put it out there. Okay, so this is something, and you think with this weight it might get hung in a brush pile, but actually that brush pile brings it down, lets the worm kind of do its thing. Pretty neat. Now this throws on the 7.6 medium heavy fast, so I like throwing on that 7.2, 7.3, but I like also at times on the 7.6 if I am going to try to get a long cast, if I'm fishing more flat offshore areas. It could be a road bed, it could be a rock flat, or just a flat. I like that longer rod to get longer casts, to be able to cover more water, and when you're down there setting the hook on them, you can bring them up, get a good hook set. So this at level rake, 7.6 medium heavy fast, love this rod. $100 rod. That other one's $170, $100 rod. I throw my worms on 12-pound test. If I was fishing East Texas and some bigger lakes with some bigger fish, I'd go that 16-pound or 15-pound. I used to fish lakes with a lot more quality fish in it, but I've just learned with the lighter line, you get more action, you get more bites, and they're fun to bring in, okay, also. Now this next setup, okay, talking about fun. This next setup, the Nico rig, okay. I remember Johnny Schultz in 2021, smashing him on a Nico rig. And he's like, Jimmy, you got to get on the Nico rig game. And I was like, Johnny, I hate the spinning rod. And now as you guys have watched, I love a spinning rod. I have 9 of them. So guys, I remember also, right when I started working for Johnny, we went out and filmed a video and he caught him on the Nico rig. So, the thing about a Nico rig is, now I have it on it's a VMC weedless hook, and it ain't the best weedless hook, okay? There's some better ones out there. But I have a little, this is a 16th ounce weight. I either use a 16th, 8th, I have some 1/32. I kind of like getting the heavier ones, heavier weights, and then cutting it off if I need to go lighter. Just a little tip there. This is the Rapala Crush City, forgot what they call this thing. It's their Nico rig, the Janitor. It's called the Janitor, okay? But one thing with this is, it's been pretty cool. It's been a variety of ways I've caught fish with this. One of my goals for this summer was to get better at the Nico rig. And I've gotten better at it. I'm not saying I'm a master. I've gotten better at it. I've caught fish with it in trees at Lake Ouachita. I've caught suspended fish with it at Lake Ouachita. I've caught big fish with it on other lakes, fishing on the bottom. But one thing about this is it's going to get a lot of bites. It's going to generate bites. And you just kind of have to, what I've learned is figure out how they want it that day. Do they want it shaking real quick? Do they want it sitting there? Because when it's sitting there, that worm's kind of going up. It's doing its thing. And it just kind of depends. You have to play with it to kind of figure out how they want it. And like I said, this has been a success. There are guys that are really good at a minnow and then good at the Nico rig. Okay, now this on the level NGX 71 medium light. I'm going, this is, what is this, 8? Yeah, this is 8-pound braid. This is actually 12-pound 4/0 leader. Guys know I do 8-pound braid. I do 12-pound braid as my main line, and I either use 12-pound leader or 8-pound leader. So guys, we're now going to get into the on-the-water action. I'm going to go out there and fish the free rig, Ozark rig, and maybe the Nico rig on some on-the-water cover, and I'll go over the structure. What we have right here is a little bit of a road, okay, that's going to go across, all right? So we're going to have some rock, which I really like fishing this right here, okay, with this free rig. Now, all I'm going to use forward facing for is, I know y'all hear the motorcycles, is just to kind of notice. I'm going to look for, make sure I'm throwing and I'm in the strike zone. If I see a group of fish, I'm going to try to get it down there. But like, I'm right there on that rock. And on this free rig, which is a 1/2 ounce head, it's a little heavier. Some guys I know like throwing the 3/8. But I'm just making sure I'm down there. And I like with this half because I know I'm down there. Now, I probably shouldn't be going with this wind behind me. I'm on a lake right now. Like, I'm feeling that rock. So that's all I'm doing. Like, I'm just dragging it, letting it do its thing. Now, one cool thing with it too, I'm feeling that rock, is you can hop it. And when hopping it does is that weight's going to go down first. And then that worm's going to do the action. So, just dragging it here. Like I said, I probably should be throwing against the wind. I'm like breaking my rule. Like I'm on a lake. Just got done doing a lesson, guys, on a lake. And we caught pretty good in the lesson. Now I'm out here doing this. And the first place I wanted to kind of pull up to and fish this after I found some fish was the boat there. So now it looks like I'm seeing some fish down there. I can throw this thing a mile on this rod. There we go. Start seeing some more juice. So seeing some more juice down there. Some fishies coming up. They about to break. Look at those guys. Oh, y'all don't see my screen. So I'm just gonna drag this thing. Now when I'm dragging worms, guys, I also like to keep my finger, you see right there, so I can feel the bites. Feel it. The old Ozark rig. What a sweet bite that was. Ozark rig. Here we go. Fishing out with using forward face and worms, guys. Like, I don't spend as much time on them as I might have used to. Now you can still milk them, okay? Because there's a time when it is super hot. You know, throwing these things and dragging them slow. I mean, you know, dragging it through there a couple times. That third or fourth time I might get bit. Just how I fish. If I don't get bit 2 or 3 casts, I'm going to change lures or move on. It's like right there, I'm feeling it. I'm going to top that thing up. I landed in the front of it. That's one thing about this that's cool, is I know where we're at. So we got a little rock point here, some brush out here. Put that thing right there. Work this thing and just see if we can get us one on the old rigger. There's some fish up there. It might not be a worm day. I bet it's like a spoon day. I'm about to go find out. I'm about to go film it uncut. Been cool to get this one recorded. Look at that big old spot, dude. Golly. Why was I not recording this one?
Oh, he's on the stone.
Got him.
Big.
Big and cannon, giant.
Oh my God, yeah.
It's 8 pound test, 8 pound braid, 8 pound fluoro.
I seen him when I was swimming up.
Yeah, I ain't as giant as I big thought, but still. 11.5, it's like 5, yeah. It's a thick one. He's a thick one. He's gonna be over 5. How nice is that, Nick, compared to what you've done? What up, guys? Welcome to the Faith Juice part of the episode. I'm going to share some scripture today with something that's on my heart with a topic, okay? Kind of go both ways into it. Appreciate all the encouraging words and feedback that I get from this part of the episode. It means a lot, okay? Thank you very much, and let's get into it. So, in the New Testament, in Matthew, Mark, and Luke, and I forgot if it's in John or not, I just went blank. I know Matthew, Mark, and Luke. There's the account of Jesus calming the storm. So you have the disciples, they're on a boat with Jesus, who just told them to get on a boat, and he's asleep. Storm comes upon them. They get scared, wake him up, and they're like, hey, do something. You're the Messiah, right? Do something. And then he's like, hey, guys, you have little faith. And he calms the storm. Okay, and this is something that I'm going to relate to with us with perseverance. Successful people, okay, and I'm not just talking successful in money. There's a lot of things that success can be in, okay, but people that are successful know how to persevere through the hard times. And here we are, we got these guys on a boat, and this bad storm came, and think of it, they're in like a wooden boat. They're not in like this Icon. They're not in the Icon. They're not on a yacht, okay? And the storm comes and they're scared. And they go wake Jesus up. I'm like, hey, dude, do something. And he said, hey, you have little faith. And the Matthew account, that was it. Like right here in 26, he said to them, why are you afraid, O you of little faith? And he rebuked the winds of the sea, and there was a great calm. And the men were marveled, saying, what sort of man is this? The winds and the sea obey him. So, but what I'm getting to with perseverance is, Jesus here is saying there's going to be times your faith's going to be tested. And how are you going to respond? Okay? And let's say you are grounded in the Word, your prayer life, and you have people surround you that are encouragers. When you go through something tough, it helps getting through it. But then you got to be prepared for it. Okay? And we're talking about events that could be sickness in the family, an uncertain death, job loss. There's so many things, okay? So many things that could be this storm. Maybe you're going through it right now. But how do you handle it? Perseverance. So, and I'm saying success as in it could be a family situation, could be something tough in your marriage. There's so many ways to look at this. And that's what I'm saying, like, how do you persevere? And if that's something you struggle with, there's ways we can work on it. I think for me, growing up and going through events and going through stuff that I've gone through, it seems me being in my faith and in the Word has helped me persevere through the tough times and through stuff. Because, I mean, we all go through it. It's not always just a smooth sailing up a mountain. And so I just want to share that with y'all today. Perseverance. And if you're not going through it, be ready for it. And it goes to faith. And then keeping the course, knowing it's going to be okay, and to fight through it. Okay, guys, appreciate you. Hope that wasn't too bad. That was, 3 minutes and 40 seconds. We could probably do that in a 40, 50-minute message, right? Thank you, guys. I caught some fish today. Wait till I get my next video out.